What if Godzilla was just a giant Muppet?
And the rest were people?
The rest are normal people.
That'd be too goofy. That's too silly.
No, we can't do that.
No. Wait, I take it back. It'd be silly for a little bit, but the tone is serious.
Yeah, the tone is serious,
but then
it actually gets creepy towards the end of the movie. Like the beginning of the movie, it looks kind of silly, but then as the movie progresses, the tone and the shots just get darker and darker, and at the end of the movie, it's actually like scary. That was. Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight, and I am joined by one other Infinity Bro. It is the carrot distributor and tinfoil hat distributor of the Infinity Bros universe, Mark Jones. How you doing, Mark?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Get some peace. Talk with a friend. Another Infinity Bro. And get into some shenanigans, maybe. See,
shenanigans, right? It's been a while. Since we've gotten into shenanigans, so we're back, and I'm very thankful for that as well. To be sharing this podcast with you, one of the Infinity Bros out of the other 4. There's 6 Infinity Bros. For those of you guys who have not listened to the Infinity Bros before, we hit up pop culture, movies, TV, video games, kind of just whatever we want to talk about. And today, as Mark referenced, we're going to be talking about Peacemaker. Episode 1 specifically. I'll give a little bit of a non-spoiler review of episode 2 because that just came out yesterday. But yeah, we're going to be talking Peacemaker, some nerd news. It's going to be a good time. Glad to have everybody back with us. Mark and I already chatted a little bit on the Patreon version of this episode. So make sure you go check that out. Talked a lot about King of the Hill with the revival. You can hear Mark's thoughts on the new season and my thoughts on the original because I started watching that recently. So lots of fun with that. Lots of good stuff.
And talks on Holy War, just normal things that we have on Patreon.
You never know what you're going to get with an Infinity Bros Patreon, especially with Mark involved. The conversation can take some wild twists and turns. And if Infinity Bro Max isn't on to keep Mark in line, then, you never know where we're going to end up.
He's like a living, breathing filter for me. Like, I just around him, I was like, I got to do a few things to make his eyebrows raise, but, got to be a little more.
Yeah, you get a mix of both because, like, you know that you're going to rile him up. So, like, yep. you kind of egg him on a little bit, but also at the same time, you're like, I don't know if Max will go this way. So maybe we've got to, like, redirect a little bit, go a different direction. Again, you never know what you're going to get.
Yep.
With a Max and Mark mess around, but I still like hanging out with you as well. So,
but here's me, Isaac, the lowly host, stuck with Mark.
No, but
Mark stuck with Isaac. Here we are.
Talked about it on a previous episode, but like when I'm on, I feel like I just like it's one of those like cars where you like wind up and then just let it go. Like I feel like that's me because I just like okay, Mark's going. All right, let's roll with it.
Isaac presses my buttons and I don't stop.
Oh man. But yeah, we don't have any reins on this podcast, so it could get wild. Who knows? And we're talking Peacemakers, which is already wild. We don't even need to get into the weeds in that show because it's already wild. All right, first thing I want to mention before we get into nerd news here is that we do have a special rating system in the Infinity Bros podcast, so we'll put that right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Step.
And we also have some really cool codes for you guys to use. If you're into HyperX products, you can get some new headphones or a microphone. If you want to get into podcasting, use code Infinity Bros for 15% off your order. And now we're also partnered with GGTs, which is a really cool custom t-shirt designer who does a lot of cool stuff with Magic the Gathering and just cute, awesome designs. So make sure you check out GGTs and use code Infinity Bros Pod for 15% off your order on those. And both of those will have links in the show notes so you can check those out easily. All right, Mark, are you ready for some nerd news?
Absolutely. Nerd all over me.
Hey Zane, I was looking into getting into this Gunpla thing. There's one called the Unicorn Banshee. What the heck is that all about? Actually, Jarrett, what you're thinking of is RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 2 Banshee, which is from the Mobile Suit Gundam. Actually, you know what? It's time for nerd news.
Little bits. Nerd news. All right. First thing we're going to talk about is Spider-Man, because we can't be on a podcast and not talk about Spider-Man with me involved. So Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out July 31st, 2026. We've talked about it on previous episodes, but there's been a ton of news coming out in the last 2-3 months or so, and I feel like we haven't really fully covered it on an episode of the Infinity Bros podcast. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. There's some set photos that came out that have the new suit. It looks great. Out of curiosity, Mark, what is your favorite Spider-Man suit out of all the live-action Spider-Man?
Oh, the live. Okay, I was gonna say like that's there's a lot of suits to choose from there.
Yeah. Oh man, if you.
Anyways, it'd be Cosmic Spider-Man suit. That's my favorite. Just for the record,
great one.
But out of these suits, it's probably the Infinity War armor suit. That's probably one of my favorites.
Okay, no, that one is pretty solid. Yeah, I like the allusion to like Iron Spider from the comics, because the comic suits, like that's one of my favorite suits.
It'd be that, or the original Tobey Maguire suit's pretty legit, so I'd be a top 3, and I'd probably go Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. That's another one where it's
that's the one I was gonna say. That's my favorite, because like that one's probably the most like comic accurate suit that we've gotten. Like it's got the big eyes. The colors on it are just perfect. Oh man. If Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't such a bad movie, I would love it so much. I still love it, even though it's not great. But man, it looks so stinking good. I love that suit so much. But the suit that Tom Holland is wearing in these new set photos looks fantastic. It's got like the classic, like very bright blue and red. It's got like a little bit of raised webbing, which we haven't really gotten from a Tom Holland suit yet. I don't know. It looks pretty sweet. Classic Spider-Man is what it looks like. So, they say that it's going to be street level. With every announcement, I feel like that gets more and more unlikely, because it just keeps getting more and more wild. So,
who are the characters that are in there that you don't think it's going to stay street level?
Okay, let's talk about it. So Sadie Sink, Liza Colon Zayas, which we talked about the bear a little bit in our Patreon. She plays Tina in The Bear. They both have been casted for Spider-Man quite a while ago. No official announcement on their characters, what they're playing. A lot of people are thinking Sadie Sink might be playing like a more true MJ, might be playing a whole different character that doesn't have to do with her red hair. Who knows at this point?
Maybe it should be Jean Grey or something. I don't know.
Maybe. That would be crazy. And I have no idea how they would keep it street level if it were Jean Grey. But who knows?
Spider-Man gets the Phoenix Force, of course. I mean,
obviously.
Obviously.
Okay, so beyond that, though, Michael Mando, who played Scorpion in Homecoming, is confirmed to be in this. John Bernthal as the Punisher. Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, or potentially Savage Hulk. We've heard a lot of rumors about that. And then this one is not confirmed. It is heavily rumored. I've seen a lot of sites reporting on it. But a lot of people are saying that Florence Pugh is going to appear in this as well. That's the one that was like, man, we could have kept the street level after. And, I shouldn't
be
saying
an Avenger.
That, she's an Avenger. She's dealing with bigger threats now. But at the same time, she is kind of like a covert type of superhero. So potentially you could still have her and keep it street level.
Or she's involved in like trying to recruit Spider-Man into the Avengers.
That's true. That's actually a good. Maybe it's just like a real short scene. Maybe it's a post-credit scene.
That, or like it's like every act has a scene with her where she's like ready to join and blah blah blah, or like crap like that. Or it's another, because the current Avengers from the Thunderbolts aren't really like universe shattering Avenger team in my opinion. Where maybe that's how they get involved with Spider-Man, is because he's gonna have to fight the Sinister Six, and he might not be able to do it by himself, and make new friends in the way.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so little side note on that though, Michael Mando coming back as a Scorpion I think is a great sign for this movie,
Right.
because he was a underused villain in that Homecoming. He wasn't even really a villain in that
Well, it
one.
was a
Honestly.
setup.
He
It
was
was a
just a
setup
side character. He was a setup, right?
to eventually make him the Scorpion.
Right. And in that, I don't know if it's a post-credit scene or it's just the very last scene of the movie, but where he confronts Michael Keaton in jail. Whew, that is a chilling scene. It is so cool, and I'm very excited to see him as Scorpion in this. And a little side note, rumor news, he also posted on his Instagram story a picture of the Mac Gargan Venom symbiote from the comics. So do you think we're going to get a Venom?
Well, which end credit scene was it? Did we have the Venom, the symbiote in our?
Yeah, that was the last one. I think that was No Way Home.
So I imagine, we're gonna have to have some symbiote version of Spider-Man, or we get an Eddie Brock in our universe or something like that.
Yeah, and we've even had rumors of what's his face, Tom Hardy, coming to this universe as well, with all of the multiversal junk that's going on.
This could just be Daddy Feige just telling us, Patrick Stewart doesn't want to be, doesn't want to do X-Men again. Oopsie poopsies, and then he's in a movie.
Poopsie. Yeah, right.
Like, hey, this is street level. Here's all the characters. We're gonna say who they are, and really the only street level character is Scorpion. The rest of these are like, multiverse.
Scorpion's only in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then he gets defeated, and then the rest of the levels a setup for Avengers.
You love Taskmaster? Well, that's too bad. We're gonna kill her.
Speaking of that, Thunderbolts just dropped on Disney Plus too, so I'm gonna have to give that a rewatch at some point here. But
I couldn't wait. I bought it on VOD.
Oh, look at you! When did that come out on VOD? Was that recent?
Like a month ago.
Wow! So you've already watched it? Have you already watched it on?
Well, I mean, it's not in theaters. Yeah. Well, literally the day it was released, where you could buy it on Amazon, is when I got it. So then my beautiful wife Kelly and I could watch it. So
nice. Did Kelly watch it with you in theaters as well?
No.
Or
no?
Oh, she didn't. Okay, so that was her first time watching.
It was her first time. Yeah.
Nice. What did she think of it?
She loved it. That's another one where. So this is another thing. This is an interesting topic, not really related to her enjoyment of it, but the thought of movies not doing well anymore is because people are just well, it'll be on a streaming service in a month. So
yeah, right.
Or 2 months.
So I've done that. I'm guilty of doing that in not for the Marvel movies necessarily, because I'm going to the theater to see all of those pretty much no matter what. But a lot of movies that I look at and I'm interested in, I'm it'll be on streaming in a couple months. I'll just catch it
for me, on that, I was I wanted to go see the Naked Gun remake, and I was just I don't know if I'm gonna have time for it, and then I'll probably end up just buying it on Amazon or something like that. That's what I've been doing now lately, instead of waiting longer for it. The moment it goes on, I'll just get it for $20 and call it good.
Right. Yeah, and it's really that you go to a movie and you're already spending $15 for the ticket and another $10 for snacks and a drink or whatever. Or
you buy a bucket that's $80.
Or that, yeah. Wait, how many buckets do you have?
I have no buckets, but when we went to the Fantastic Four movie, the theater we went to had that bucket, and it was
had the Galactus one, the big one.
Yeah, but however, saying that, when I went to the Superman movie with my nephew, I did buy him the crypto bucket, which was $45. So
yep. So anyways, you're spending a crap ton of money at the theater. So why not wait a month or two and then buy it for $20 or $30 when it comes up?
So this is where I go to if you have the opportunity to go to an IMAX movie, or I saw it in the metro area of Minneapolis. They had one of the AMC theaters had a 3D laser showing of Superman. To me, it's just that's the experience I want. Not just going to, the local theater and paying $15, and then it's just I can hear the other movie, because it's not the movie experience needs to be better. Is where I'm going with that, and that's why I'm willing to go out for movies like that.
Totally agree on that one. One more note on the cast for Spider-Man Brand New Day. We had an announcement just 2 or 3 days ago that Tremel Tillman is joining the cast, who plays Mr. Milchick in Severance, is joining the cast Brand New Day. Also, no confirmation on a role for him, but I mean, dude just absolutely killed it in Severance this season. So
what could he play? Could he be? Did the actor play the Shocker? Is he coming back?
that's a good question. I don't believe he is in the cast list, but let me look that up.
Because my first thought was like, oh, that'd be great if they just did a new Shocker and like he was. I mean,
I wouldn't be mad about it, right?
I hate that the Shocker means something else, but the Shocker from Spider-Man, the villain, is like one of my favorite villains of just like character look and just over. Yeah, anyway, so
yeah. Yeah, I think we've had this conversation.
Well, I just think of it because I remember telling like Max my favorite villain for Spider-Man, the Shocker. He's like, no, it isn't. Like it is. Like,
I promise, I'm not being cheeky.
Yeah, like exactly. I'm not being cheeky. It's like it is. That's why it's hard to tell you.
Well, and I've had that conversation with people too, because my favorite Spider-Man, and it's not quite the same as Shocker, but my favorite is Lizard.
Yeah.
And people are like, Lizard? Like, why? Like, why would you say that? I'm like, I don't know. It's just like,
as he like,
I remember reading those comics.
Up, he's like, I don't know why.
I don't know why. I've got like reptiles like slithering around in the background. I don't know why. It's just he's always been one of my favorites. But
didn't they? Oh, think about other characters. Didn't they say someone's playing Harry Osborn in this?
It's been rumored, but they have not actually confirmed anybody. I mean, they've got Zendaya coming back as MJ, Jacob Batalon coming back as Ned. And
we get the Hobgoblin.
He's been rumored to be Hobgoblin ever since he was in like Homecoming or something like that.
Well,
so
Hobgoblin knows how to do magic.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, they don't have a lot of other confirmed casts on here. So nobody's confirmed to be Harry. Nobody's confirmed to be Shocker. I mean, I'm trying to remember who was the Shocker in that first one. Was it?
I mean, I feel like it wasn't. He's an actor, obviously, but no, it wasn't like someone too famous or has become more famous. Right. I don't know. Maybe I don't keep up on stuff.
I can picture him in my mind, but I can't.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Hakeem Woodbine. I wouldn't have come up with that. No, I wouldn't have come up with that.
What if Mordo is the villain in this? That'd be something wild.
That would be wild. And once again, it would not be street level if that were the case.
Mystical street level.
We're getting way off track with the street level here, but like that, like you said, I mean, you can't fully believe anything Kevin Feige says.
No,
he could be totally pulling our leg with all of this stuff. Who knows at this point?
Do we get Kingpin and do we get Daredevil in this?
Ooh.
Which then sets up to Daredevil 2 where Spider-Man comes to that to help out.
Gosh, that would be amazing. I think actually Daredevil Born Again Season 2 actually comes out in March. So that would be before Spider-Man. So that would be an awesome crossover though. Charlie Cox and Tom Holland Spider-Man. That would be so good. I would love that. I don't think it's happening at this point because I feel like they've already got a lot on their plate, and that's a whole nother plate that you're talking about with Wilson Fisk and Daredevil. It's so good, and it's a perfect crossover.
Just we load it up.
It's a buffet.
We'll come back.
Yeah, you could just keep piling on, you got like a mountain on your tray, and you're gonna just keep picking at it, But Tillman is a great casting. He's great. It's a great cast. It's going to be a great movie. I'm very excited for it. Last note on Spider-Man that I wanted to go over before I move on, though, is just yesterday or 2 days ago, potentially, Jackie Chan came out and said that he has been working on the stunts for this movie with his team. And
did we get the hand?
Oh,
or maybe we'll get the foot, and the Teenage Mutant Turtles will show up.
Okay, that would be a sick crossover, though.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh!
I
feel like Daredevil is more likely to show up with the hand than the TMNT and the.
We are looking in the theater like a year from now, and there comes Raphael, and you're like, "Damn, Mark was right."
Nah, man, he got me. You know how many times we probably, if we looked back or listened to all of our previous episodes, there'd be like a lot of wild claims that never came true, but there's probably a good 15 to 20% of them that did come true, and we're all like, oh man, Mark was right about that. I can't believe that happened.
The one I go back to that wasn't right was, I want to say it was before Endgame, and we were predicting like what were going to happen. I was like, oh, they're going to bring the Fantastic Four in Endgame. We're going to go, it's not going to be Avengers Tower, it's going to be Baxter Building. And yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. There's probably a lot of things we've been wrong on through the years.
There probably is.
Ton of things.
I don't think we should.
We don't talk about those things, though. We only talk about the things that we're right about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jackie Chan obviously is a stunt legend. So him working on the stunts for this is great. And we've got plenty of video of Tom Holland practically swinging around the streets of, well, I think they're filming in like Prague or something like that. But there's, he's practically swinging around on like ropes and tethers and all the stuff that they use. So pretty cool. And I'm sure they've done a level of practical effects, for the other MCU Spider-Man movies. But I feel like there's almost a like return to like, hey, now that the CGI thing has been so overdone and overplayed, that producers are starting to be like, hey, we should do more practical stuff and try to make it a little bit more realistic looking. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what comes of it, but I think that's a great sign that Jackie Chan is involved. Like, again, I think it's going to look great, and the choreography can only get better with him involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think he plays the character?
Oh, that would be sick. I'd be down. I love Jackie Chan. He's great. I don't know, what would he play? Like an older Asian guy? Like, what would he play?
Yep, just right in the typecast.
Well, like, that's just what he is. I'm not saying he would play an older Asian. Well, he obviously probably would.
I mean, he would be an older Asian man, but like,
what he is,
he doesn't have to be that character. He's
I would cast him as
the Green Goblin.
Oh man! I mean, that would give me Jackie Chan as anybody in this movie, and I will be happy about it. Honestly,
he's Gwen.
I don't care. He's Gwen. Yep, that's it. That's definitely he's Miles Morales. Yep, obviously.
I know he's Chinese, but the Japanese Spider-Man shows up in this movie.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I keep going back to this, but like, we say all this wild, crazy stuff, and then it's supposed to be street level. Like if Japanese Spider-Man shows up, there's zero chance that this is a street level Spider-Man movie.
With his gun, just ready to go.
His gun. Oh, and his giant like wristband thingies. Oh my gosh. That'd be amazing. But anyways, lots of fun stuff happening in the Spider-Man world. Tell us what you guys think of that. July 31st, 2026 is when Spider-Man Brand New Day comes to theaters. So we'll be talking about that a lot over the next, 8-9 months. So it's going to be good times. Last other thing I wanted to touch on for nerd news is Star Wars Starfighter. This is a movie that has been in production for several years. Sean Levy is directing. He's been attached to this project for a few years as well. It's kind of wild when you think about it that Sean Levy is getting a Star Wars movie. Like, he's the director of the last Deadpool movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. He's got some funny movies on his resume. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles a Star Wars role. And then this has always been attached to Ryan Gosling as kind of, I'm assuming the main character in this film. But just a few weeks ago, we got some announcements for some new cast members. Matt Smith, Mia Goth, Amy Adams, and Aaron Pierre are all going to appear in this movie, which I have mixed feelings about this, because Star Wars generally has been a franchise that they go get unknown people for their roles. They're like, hey, we're going to go find these gems, that nobody's ever heard of, because the draw is Star Wars. You don't really need big names to get people to go see Star Wars in the movie theater, So it's interesting that they're taking this approach. We got a star-studded cast for Starfighter. What are your thoughts on all this, Mark? Obviously, you're a Star Wars guy.
Like a buffet. Give me all the Star Wars you can. I don't care.
I don't care.
Like, I'll go back to the Acolyte. The Acolyte did kind of suck in parts, but still Star Wars lore. And I wanted a second season, no matter how much we kind of crapped on that, which I think deservedly it deserved some of that criticism. Right. But you left us hanging with Darth Plagueis, just like, okay, we're just gonna get this shadow figure, and then that's all we get. We're done with that.
Yeah, right. Like you said, even though it wasn't great, the story you were telling was going somewhere,
right?
And we wanted to know where it was going.
Yeah.
It still might not have been great if they finished the story, but like, hey, at least give them a chance to finish it.
The Skeleton Crew, which was like another one. It's like, why do we need? It's just like what we're asking right now. Do we need this? And then it ended up being a really great show.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew was awesome. It was really fun.
So same thing with the Starfighter, where it's like, if you're a big Night of the Museum guy, I mean, this show's got to be under the right hands for you. He's the guy who he directed all those. So
yeah,
I just feel this is gonna be good. Ryan Gosling's in it, so we're definitely gonna go see it. But yeah, I'm interested now. Like, who is Smith gonna play? Like, that's or what the time frame is. Like, what era are we in? Are we gonna be in a Old Republic era? Are we gonna be in a like the kind of like episodes 4, 5, 6 or First Order?
That's really interesting about this too. Is like, I mean, we've already got cast announcements, and we really don't know anything about this project at all.
I mean, you go to their Wikipedia page. There's no like plot premise. There's no no one has character names. Just people in it. So
I don't know. It'll be interesting, and I'm on the same level as you. As like Star Wars, I'm in. Like I don't care what it is. Like I'm going.
Animated, live action, give it to us.
Give it right here. I'm gonna gobble it up. Just boom, 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 eating it. But yeah, Starfighter. There is a Starfighter like video game too. So like for all the Star Wars nerds that like are in it, no matter what, like me and you, it doesn't matter what the content is. But the Starfighter thing is kind of interesting because it is a little portion of the Star Wars universe that maybe we don't have quite as much like canon lore on, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think I like exploring different areas of the Star Wars universe, which they've been giving us with Disney Star Wars. Like you mentioned, Skeleton Crew, Acolyte, Andor is freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love that show. They've been exploring these different areas of Star Wars, and for the most part, it's been good. A couple misses, but you know what? It's Star Wars. I'm in.
Now, does this movie come out before or after the Mandalorian movie comes out?
Ooh, that's another good question. You're asking the real questions here, Mark. So
that's what would make the Starfighter a little more interesting is if that timeline happens during like that and like Ahsoka and like just that whole and the book Boba Fett. Like if that all happened in that time frame, they kind of you definitely could tell a bigger story in an untouched time frame. So
So the Mandalorian and Grogu actually comes out next May, like May 22nd, 2026. Like that's already probably in post production, which is kind of wild to think about because we really haven't heard a lot about that. I mean, other than like just it's like Mandalorian and Grogu. Like we already kind of know all of that background and lore from the Mandalorian show.
That series ended with them like, we're retired. We're just going to hang out.
Yeah, right.
So what's happened that they're like, hey, we got to go fight some stuff.
Yeah. And then Star Wars Starfighter comes out on May 28th, 2027. So they probably haven't even started filming yet for that. Maybe like I don't know exactly what the timeline is on that. Maybe they have started filming. Not exactly sure, but we don't know anything about the canon like timeline. Like, we kind of talked about before, like where is this in the Star Wars universe? Like, are they going to be interacting with people or characters that we know? Is it going to be a completely isolated story? Who knows? I'm sure we'll learn more about it as the time moves on and we start to get more and more looks from it. And that's probably why we haven't heard much of it, because it maybe hasn't started filming. I'm not quite sure on that though, so don't quote me on it. But either way, I'm excited for it. Starfighter, hotshot pilot. It's part of Star Wars. I'm in. Ryan Gosling can play any role that he wants, and like you said, I'm gonna watch that.
Now, see, this is what I would really want if I had to choose instead of Starfighter. Just tell us the Shadow of the Empire, do that live action, make Ryan Gosling Dash Rendar, and just feed into that nostalgia of the generation that grew up on that video game. So
man, that would be amazing. I would be absolutely down for that.
Because then you have justification to bring back old characters and like make them young with like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. So
Right. I think too, another facet of this like Disney Star Wars thing is that they've made kind of a point to move away from what they call legends now, like extended universe stuff, which, you know, most of the games novels would probably be considered at this point. And they've kind of gravitated more making like new original content, which is not a bad thing. Like that's all fine and good. But it would be kind of fun to see some, you know, like, and I guess an example of going back to some, technically it was always canon, but the Ahsoka show is a good example of like, hey, we got Ahsoka from, you know, Clone Wars and Rebels, and then we get her in her own live action show, and we got Thrawn, you know, from Rebels, and, you know, Thrawn from a lot of the, you know, Legends stuff. Technically it wouldn't be Legends, I guess, if it's he's now canon or whatever, you know. I don't know who makes the rules on what all is not Legends and stuff like that, but I mean, you got some of that, but I feel like most of Disney's Star Wars has been like, hey, let's separate ourselves from that, do some original content. But yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, taking some of those old stories and like rehashing them, or, you know, just doing them on live action, I'm totally down for that. That'd be sweet. Ryan Gosling, again, he could do anything in the Star Wars universe, so I'm gonna be in. Yeah, so that's coming out May 28th, 2027. A little bit down the road, but we'll learn more about it as we go.
Be here sooner than we know it.
Yeah, for real. Once you become an adult and you start having kids and stuff, it's like, man, gosh, I'm already a decade older than I thought I was.
Yep.
It's kind of wild how that happens.
The never-ending circle of time comes for us all. Anyways, anything else? Any other new news?
No, that's it. That's all I got for new news.
All right.
So end on that bright note. Like, hey, time passes us all by. All right.
Comes for us all.
Comes for us all. Mark, we're going to talk about Peacemaker. Not going to give a spoiler warning quite yet, because I want to hit 60 seconds of what you liked about Peacemaker Season 1 coming into Season 2, and then what you thought about Episode 1.
Well, I think what was so cool about Season 1 is, you know, it's coming off of the Suicide Squad, I believe, not Suicide Squad, or vice versa. I don't know. Anyways, with like that character, and, you know, everyone probably thought in that movie, like, oh, just another John Cena movie, you know, weird, quirky, you know, villain-esque type character that's, you know, full of toxic masculinity. And then, you know, we get like, oh, they're going to make a TV show based off of that character. And first off the bat, like the intro song just in choreography was just wild. And you're like, okay. And then you go down this whole rabbit hole of just kind of obscure DC lore and some, you know, redemption arcs, and, you know, a ragtag group of, you know, Task Force X coming together and saving the world. And then kind of, you know, and I love this, what they did in the next season with the Justice Gang instead of the Justice League. Where like that's how we fix it, just that easy.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
But yeah, I think Season 1 was great. I thought it really outkicked expectations that I had for it that I wasn't expecting. So yeah.
And I feel like this show too is James Gunn probably casted John Cena as Peacemaker for the Suicide Squad, thinking like, oh yeah, it'll be funny, forget about it, whatever. And then like as he got to know him and through that movie, he's like, oh, this dude like is actually legit. Like, yeah, he's got acting chops. Like, he's a legitimately like good person,
right?
And I think we could work with this. And like the whole concept of the Peacemaker show was based off of the Suicide Squad, probably, because.
And just think of that: if James Gunn didn't get fired from Disney for that short period of time, he would have never gone and worked for DC.
Right, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Wild to think about. And do you think he would have really done anything more for Disney? Probably not.
I know, he might have been, they might have had him helm up the, you know, maybe the next Avengers movie, but also think of this, if Feige's been trying to figure out an end game, pardon the pun on that, to, you know, bow out eventually, you know, DC, Warner Brothers gave James Gunn that role, I'm
Right.
sure that would have probably been an easy successor, is have James Gunn take
Yeah.
over the Marvel Universe.
Well, and like we all, I felt like, didn't really realize the potential that James Gunn had when he got fired from Disney and
Right.
went to DC. Because I mean, obviously, how it played out is like he made the Suicide Squad. It was great. Went back, made Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and then like DC's like, holy crap, this guy is actually special, and then placed the whole thing in his hands. But if we didn't get that, I mean, we know that he did come up with a lot for Kevin Feige in the MCU. Like
Yeah.
there's like stories of him saying that he basically developed the whole concept for the Infinity Stones within the MCU in like an hour and a half, like brainstorming session. Like it was just kind of like off the cuff thing. And then Kevin Feige based the whole MCU off of it, basically.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like there's potential that he could have become something for Marvel, but I mean, who knows? Who knows if that would have happened if he had not gone to
Mhm.
DC and kind of like broke open the like, this guy's legit. We took this failed Suicide Squad movie that was generally hated by pretty much everybody and turned it into something like pretty dang good.
Right.
Not every like director, producer can do that. So James Gunn's something special.
Right. And that's where I think the DCU is going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're like, as long as he has full control, Kevin Feige does, we're in for a very good roller coaster ride. And I think it's going to be a very tight story being told without any kind of like questions.
Right.
I don't think we'll have loose ends like we did in the Marvel Universe, but
right. Yeah, that's true. And Marvel Universe, I mean, it kind of was probably inevitable with how big it was getting. Like it just, I don't know. Maybe they could have done something to avoid it, but like you said, I mean, I think we've talked about all these years that we've been doing this podcast, the Infinity Bros podcast. We talked so much about how DC just needed a guy, like one person or gal. We're not sexist on the Infinity Bros podcast, to make the decisions for DC, because obviously having individual directors do their own takes on it and trying to make it into a connected universe was not working.
Right. And also that's where, Snyder versus problem was, where they went through different heads of the departments that all had their own different insights and inputs, and like that's what doesn't make continuity or movie
Right.
good, is when there's so
Yeah.
much notes coming and demanded outside the artists of the directors, scope. So
Right. And if, like if Zack Snyder had complete creative control over everything, he could have made a good universe, although there'd still be contention because like Zack Snyder obviously took a lot
might
of
get a group of
liberties
people
when it came
mad
to
at us, Isaac. Tread lightly with the Snyder
maybe.
Bros.
But like Zack Snyder made good movies. Like I'm not hating on the guy. Like he makes good movies. It looks
Yep.
great.
Yep.
But he doesn't like fundamentally understand the source is the only problem with him, really. And I think if he had full control, he could have made something pretty good. And like the fact that he made something like the Snyder cut of the Justice League wasn't bad. It was I thought it was pretty good. It was obviously 4 hours long, so there were still issues.
Hey, it was COVID. You could watch it at home. You have the time.
yeah, right. But like it wasn't bad. If he was the guy, if they let him have full creative control, they could have made it into something. And it just didn't happen. Like DC/WB just had too many hands in the pot. Just didn't work out. So the fact that they're giving it to James Gunn is great news. The fact that James Gunn is a comic book guy and does fully understand these characters is even better.
Exactly. And that's why it's going to be fun to watch him, watch his DCU unfold. So,
And I listened to, your guys' review of Superman, and Superman was great as well. I finally got around to watching that, just like a couple weeks ago in theaters. And man, it was just so fun. It's just such a fun movie. And like I said, I just feel like he just understands the character. And I don't think you always need to understand the character. Like I don't think that's a requirement. It helps, but like you can still make a good movie. Like Zack Snyder still made Man of Steel was fine. Like it was good. Like I
think it is a great movie.
Yeah.
But what this Superman is going to be so nice is with Zack Snyder's Justice League. You had two brooding main leads with Batman and that Superman.
Right.
Both of them are more brooding than, hey, this is what's going to be great with our current Superman. He's just like a likable, friendly dude who's going to have a more up-spirited vibe behind him. Versus now you can get like a more brooding Batman, like even Robert Pattinson was.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the dynamic you want, where it's like you have this cold, calculated guy and this uplifting, high-spirited person who, like, you know, they're going to have to find a way to mesh at some point. So
right. Yeah. So, yeah, James Gunn is great. Peacemaker is great. And we're very excited for the future of the DCU. So, yeah, what did you think of episode 1 of season 2? No spoilers yet.
No spoilers yet.
I know. Just quick. Like, what did you think of it?
I thought it was a good way to start off the season. I do like, okay. I think.
All right. Well, let's dive into spoilers then, I guess.
Yeah, into spoilers. I'm not giving you jack until we give you spoilers.
Oh gosh.
I'll bullcart this show.
Okay, so to me, Peacemaker season 1 was so long ago. Like, I mean, it seems so long ago. It really wasn't that long ago, but in the context of like pop culture, it seems like so much stuff has passed since then. So we're coming back to season 2, episode 1. Were you excited to get back into it?
Yes, they did really. Yeah. Well, I wasn't like, I gotta go watch it. Like, and as you can understand, people can understand with children. Yeah. It's like, I want to watch a show, but like it might be a week from now when I start it.
Great. And this is not a show that you're watching with the kids. Obviously,
where my oldest is at, where it's like she definitely is now picking up where I have to watch what I say because she's like instantly repeat. She's at that point where she like, I'm like, yep, she fully. I mean, I know she's recognized and understands, but like she fully will like hear it and like process it, and I get a little off cuff sometimes. Anyways, coming back to that.
So no, I don't believe that.
Peacemaker, I loved how they did a recap and like they changed, the ending of the first season just a little bit by putting the Justice Gang instead. Like super easy. We didn't have to do too much into it. But overall, season 2, it's like, I didn't really watch any trailers, so I kind of just coming in raw to see what happens. And they did not disappoint. Clearly, this Peacemaker, off the cuff of season 1, like saves the world. And, just like everyone else, thinking like, hey, I'll get recognition. People treat me with some respect now because, I had a history of not being treated with respect because I wasn't respecting, myself and other things. And then just, gets put down on that, tries an interview with the Justice Gang. And clearly they're not, I don't even know why they're interviewing people. You think you would just already know who you'd want to go ask and then go that process versus just like, sign up for an interview with us.
Right.
Just seems weird.
Oh, that scene was hilarious.
That's what we get. We're getting all for episode 1 brought us all to, here's all the characters and what they're doing now. And we're just like, hey, they're not fitting in because season 1 really screwed them. So.
Yeah, I thought it was that, like you said, that like recap or retcon or whatever you want to call it scene of the last. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but yeah, that was just a brilliant decision by James Gunn. And like not everything has to be a brilliant decision too. Like sometimes you can just do things, but I thought that one was just such a great way to just basically say, hey, this is my universe now. I can do whatever I want with this.
I'll do whatever I want.
I do what I want.
I did not enjoy the intro as much as I did the first season.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to stop you there because we got to talk about that a little bit too. Okay. This is your official spoiler warning. If you haven't watched episode 1 or 2 of Peacemaker, go watch it right now.
This is...
Prepare yourself.
An Infinity Bros.
Prepare yourself.
Spoiler. Warning.
Okay. Let's talk about the title because I had the same feelings when I watched it. I was like, man, this is not a banger like it was last year.
And I think it's a song choice. It's
a song choice 100%. The dance, flawless, still love it. Yeah. The song choice is what
is
really
the same thing in episode 2. It's not like it changes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't change. But I will say, though, after I watched it again in episode 2, I was like, okay, this song is growing on me.
Mhm.
I still don't think it's quite the banger that season 1's intro song was, but it is growing on me. I do think by the end of the season, I'll enjoy it nearly as much. But that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, man, why is this not hitting?
Mm-hmm.
I was just pumped when I watched last season's intro screen. I remember Max just being like all ticked about it, like, oh, it's overrated. Like, it's
how
dumb.
could people have creative thought? How dare they?
It's so funny that he lets his perception of, like, pre-perception, honestly, of a show or a movie affect his actual thoughts of it.
Yeah,
Like, he knew that Peacemaker was going to be super raunchy and, like, not a clean show. So I'm sure beforehand he was just like, this is going to be a dumb show. Like, I'm not even thinking about it.
But also Max is the one who got us all into From. And again, it's like Max is the one who got us into that.
Good point. Yeah.
So
that's wild.
He can be a wild card with TV shows. That's what's amazing.
He is, right. That is a wild to think about because From is not a Max show.
No, it's scary.
It's way scarier than I would expect him to enjoy.
But I think what drew him to it is because the creators of Lost created it. So
and that you can feel that too. From is it's such a good show. But we're talking about Peacemaker. So let's go Peacemaker. We're talking about Peacemaker, Mark. We can't go off topic. So, anyways, we talked about title screen. Let's go back to the retcon scene. So, for those of you who have watched it and maybe don't understand the full context of it, in season 1, at the end of the season, basically when they save the world, they pass by the Justice League and they're like, oh crap, like we missed it, and there's a silly interaction between
Aquaman and the Flash,
Jason Momoa, Aquaman, and Ezra Miller's Flash about the rumor that Peacemaker started about him intermixing with fish. Yeah. And then in this retcon, it's the Justice Gang, and we get Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, Isabel Merced's Hot Girl, and they have a fun interaction about how Peacemaker started the rumor that he is a puke guy, like fetishizes puking or something like that. And honestly, this gave me joy. I love that James Gunn just doesn't. This is him flipping the bird to all the Snyderverse people, and I think that is so much fun. The fact is too that scene previously in season 1, episode 8, I think that's what I'm saying, that was also him flipping the bird to the Snyderverse people.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why the Snyderverse people are now mad about it, that he's retconning that, because he already flipped them the bird by making fun of them in that scene.
Right.
So just, I don't know why people are upset about that. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, like, I think it does speak to like the future of the DCU and how James Gunn's just like, hey, I got this now. Like, this is my thing. I can do what I want. And we, for years on this podcast, said in Kevin Feige we trust. We don't say that very much anymore. But now I think we can fully say in James Gunn we trust, after Superman and, coming into Peacemaker season 2.
And Creature Commandos.
Oh, yeah. Creature Commandos is great. That's another, like, underrated
sleeper, gem. Yeah, a sleeper animated, like, a superhero show.
If you haven't watched that, you should check that out, because it was... James Gunn has such a great storytelling, writing style. Like, he makes you care about characters that you shouldn't care about, or you wouldn't guess that you would care about. So yeah, I'm very excited for the future of the DCU with James Gunn heading it. So episode 1, we dive right in to, like you said, John Cena's Peacemaker. Christopher Smith, I think is his real name. But he just saved the world last season with Task Force X, and now he assumes that the world is going to treat him with respect. And we go back to the scene that you referenced before, the Justice Gang giving him an interview, and there's a mic malfunction and he can hear everything that they're saying in that scene. And Nathan Fillion's talking about how trying to think of what else he's saying in that scene, just like making stupid
they're talking
jokes.
about, okay, so like Hawkgirl's like, oh, I can't, I gotta start eating popcorn because my butt's getting too big. And then Guy Gardner is just like, my butt's just like a pencil. I take my pants off and
just saying stupid stuff.
Yeah, just like,
oh, and you got Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord
right.
that is the facilitating the interview, and he's also contributing to all of that stuff. Like, oh, this guy's a joke. I can't believe we're interviewing this guy. Like, we got 7 more of these interviews today, type of stuff, and poor Peacemaker's just sitting there hearing all of this, and then finally speaks up, and he's like, "Hey, am I supposed to be hearing you say all this?" Oh man, what a scene! That was a great way to open it. And a little side note too, there's a character that when they drive up to the
obscure like Batman villain.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on
the name. White Rabbit. White Rabbit is her name. So when they drive up to it, the girl wearing a bunny costume comes out of that, and she's crying, and that's White Rabbit, who is a Batman villain, I believe. Is she a Batman villain?
Yep.
And I don't know anything about her, but I was hearing buzz about that online, and that's what James Gunn is great at too, just sprinkling these tiny bits of superhero lore into his projects, because that's something that nobody cared about. Doesn't need to happen.
And I think he's also, that's like respecting the fans of the, comics, where it's like all these characters would exist at the same time. So
yeah, right. Which, is a little bit of a difference from the MCU, because like the MCU, we pretty much see everybody's origins, right? You kind of assume in the MCU, which probably isn't true, but like you assume that everybody that you know about has an origin story in the MCU. And if they don't have like a movie or a show and their origin story, they don't exist yet, like they might at some point in the MCU. But I love how he's just diving into it. Like, and even they did that in Superman too. Like the first opening scene is like, hey, Superman's been around for 3 years, and now he's losing his first fight. Like that opening, like scroll or whatever. This is a universe that we just dive into, and it's already there.
Yeah,
we're learning about it, but it's not the origin of all of these superheroes, which I kind of love, because we get a lot of origin stories as superhero movies. So it's kind of nice to just skip all that and just get right into the action.
Because we're now in a part in American culture where people are just going to assume you probably know the origin, or you can go look it up online really quick before you go watch the movie. So,
and there is good origin stories still being made, but you don't always need an origin story. Like if you're telling a story that already has, characters in that universe that are established, then why don't you just skip all that stuff? And Fantastic Four did a decent job of that. They had a little bit of like a recap, scene that showed their origin, but it wasn't like a full, like, oh, hey, this is the story of the Fantastic Four being born. It was like, hey, we're in this universe, and we're picking up, in the middle of it, basically. But James Gunn is doing a masterful job of just making us all believe that it's already exists. It's already there.
Right. I mean, coming back to Peacemaker, that's what I think he's done a really good job with, just the dialogue, how they just talk about it openly, like stuff like that. But yeah, I come back to when he first goes into he stumbles into his quantum closet chamber thing, which I find just a fascinating concept. And he walks out there as like this demon thing with like an offspring of some kind, and just like chucks it like that's what that thing uses it for, chucks it in the fire. I'm like, that thing's coming back later in the series, like that, like that thing's gotta be showing up again somewhere.
Maybe
I just came before we recorded this, that's when I watched it, so I didn't have time to kind of like just recap, look at all that stuff. But like, what is that?
Once you watch episode 2, you might change your mind. But
I did like, okay, so like kind of jumping around this episode, I did like how he finds another door because Eagly's pecking at it, where it's like, okay, clearly here's another universe where a Peacemaker lives, or at least where
oh my
Peter Stevens sees his dad, and it's just like, okay, so I'm very curious where this series is going to go, where it's like, is he going to be kind of trading back and forth, where I would imagine eventually they'll find out, because I love how this ended, where it's like, oh, he's killed everyone in his family, including himself.
That's wild to think about. But I mean, yeah, you're totally right. Like, and I think they do. HBO Max does those little, like previews into the next episode, and at the end of that episode, they showed Chris Smith, Peacemaker, like in both universes. So I assume also we will get a bunch of that this season. But yeah, it's man. We talked about how James Gunn, plays your heartstrings with these characters, and John Cena is such a great actor too. He sells it very well.
Right.
A lot of people are in and doing that online debate about who's the best wrestler turned actor. And I haven't watched Dave Bautista in a lot of things. The things that I have watched him in, he is really solid. But John Cena is making a very strong case to be.
It's between Bautista and John Cena, because Bautista
right.
is in some really good, like he really wow, he's born to do this, and same with John Cena. And people might be like, well, he's like The Rock, he plays the same character. And it's like, I don't know, that's kind of a stretch with John Cena,
right? So. Yeah, granted, he does play like he has a few different characters, but he plays a lot of them the same in a lot of different projects that he's in. But I feel like this is a new one. Like he's playing a meathead that has a soft side, and the soft side is where we're getting the great acting.
And that's what's so great about this character, where it's like, yeah, he was a meathead, and then in season 1 he's like, oh, I have childhood trauma I have to deal with. So now where it's like right into season 2, it's like he's dealing with that trauma, and he's in a world where he has nobody for family and is looking for love, and then he goes to this other universe and he's like, oh wow. And like, I don't know, at least at season 1 we don't know if they're actually still terrible people, but I would imagine if they're living in a home. But like, oh, my dad loves me, my brother's still alive who also loves me. It's like, here's the life he always wanted but never had, so now he's got to deal with. So that's what I think is going to be fun with the season, is the arc of like how that intertwines his decision making in both universes.
And they don't really it's funny, they give you a little teaser with the title screen of like, at that one part during the dance, the alternate universe characters come out, and you see, I don't even remember his dad's supervillain name, but like he's got the blue instead of the red with like the horns, and he takes that off his helmet and it's his dad, and you're like, wait a minute. Like they do that right away, right in the beginning of the episode, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be another wild season. I don't know how, but man, episode 2 doesn't have a lot more answers in that regard, but I am very excited to see where that goes, because after episode 1 we see that the world still is not accepting him, and he's feeling pretty down and rejected. And then obviously that stuff all goes down at the end of the episode. He kills himself. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for him to like escape, right? Like it just makes sense. But at the same time, as comic book movie veterans, that you go into another dimension and stay there too long, stuff's going to go down. Like it's not going to end well.
One would assume.
So we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But that's the first thing I thought when, he killed himself. I'm like, oh man, he's going to try this out, and it's not going to end well for him at the end of the season. So
however, what is fun about that concept though is James Gunn could use obscure characters or similar characters. Like he could use a version of Batman he's never going to use, but like that's the fun tease of it. So
true.
Not saying that's what's going to happen, but like that's what you can do with the multiverse stuff. It's like, well, this doesn't affect the regular stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it gives them a little bit of room to play with things that doesn't have to stay canon in his universe, which kind of is a silly concept anyways. Like all of us nerds are like, oh my gosh, like there's this one little detail in this movie from 10 years ago that he didn't follow. Like we're all me included, like I'm like that as well. But like James Gunn, I love that he just is like, I don't even care, I'm gonna do what I want, and this gives him a universe that he can play with, that he doesn't have to worry about people just being all picky and critical of his choices and stuff like that. Not that he really would care anyways, but it does give you a little bit of creative room to mess with stuff. So that's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to mess with Peacemaker. But you get that little, glimpse into, he sits with his dad, talks with his brother who's been dead for he's got to be, in his 40s or something like that. Been dead for like 20 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, this seems like a better life that I am having currently. In
that universe, he's dating the girl that he wants to be dating. So,
right, exactly. That's a big draw. Hard to stay away from that.
Mm-hmm.
The orgy that he walked away from wasn't doing it for him, I guess.
I just found that, like, in my mind, I was like, that's just gonna be a dream. And then when they had the economist, like, because we also find out that his location's being tracked because of whenever he opens the quantum entanglement closet, it sends off a reading because we're in a post Superman world. I don't know how long, but the what they call it, the Lex Luthor incident.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why is he dressed the whole time? Does he just have a bunch of friends who are like, hey, if you guys need a spot, I'm your spot. I'm not going to do anything, but like
that's a great question.
Like, it just seems so weird that like he's dressed the whole time, but like they're doing stuff. Where I thought that was going to be the drugs he did is he's hallucinating. So when the economist comes there, he has like all this dance stuff, but no one's there.
Right?
Legitimately, like he saw it too. So
that would have been interesting. I didn't think of that. I fully believed that whole thing was happening the whole time.
Well, it was once the economist went over there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but like we already talked about this on the Patreon, but like Infinity Bro Robbie messages us in the group and he's like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, guys, the episode 1 is really not safe for work. And I'm like, it's Peacemaker. Yeah, it's not safe for work.
Yeah, and he played it up. It was really not safe for work, and there was too many non-safe for works, and there wasn't really that many non-safe for works. So,
oh man, I'm like, okay, well, yeah. I mean, sure. I guess we didn't see an orgy in season 1, but I mean, we saw lots of other junk in season 1, pun intended, maybe. But I don't know. It was a funny moment. I was like, oh, okay. Well, it didn't throw me off. There was
it just seemed weird. It's like, who do you know that you're like, hey, Jim, I heard you're trying to find a home for the party tonight. You can have it at my place. Like, that's
he must have a guy. He must have an orgy guy, I guess.
Right. They pay me a few $100s to host my house. They don't.
Oh yeah, so that was wild. But yeah, again, this is not something I like was shocked by because it's Peacemaker. It's it's obviously TVMA, but I guess his comparison was like it's like the boys level, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like the boys is definitely
they have a lot more. They have one episode about that.
yeah, they sure do. So. Yeah. Yeah, it gets a little bit more wild in the boys universe. You gotta bring it down to earth for the DCU, know. So, anyways, the orgy was more of a side note, but back to Economos. We talked about him trailing Chris Smith at the direction of the new director of Argus, Rick Flag Sr. Yeah, who we actually have seen in Creature Commandos already.
And in Superman.
Watch that. Oh yeah, he did have a little role on Superman.
He did.
Played by Frank Grillo. He's a good actor. He also played Crossbones in the MCU. Yeah, Crossbones.
Do you think he shows up in the new Spider-Man movie?
Hey, Crossbones is street level. It's fine. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Last time we saw him, he was getting exploded by Wanda.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a while since we've seen him in the MCU. That was what? Was that
Ultron?
Age of No,
Age
of Ultron. Yeah.
Oh no. It would been post Age. It would been Civil War.
Civil War. Okay, that makes sense.
Because she would have been fighting with Captain America. So.
Yeah, but anyways, he takes over the direction of Argus and immediately gets to work on trailing Peacemaker, who killed his son in the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
So, and they mentioned that in episode 1. Gets a little deeper in episode 2. Not going to say anything more than that for Mark's sake, but it's pretty good. I'm really digging the direction that they're leaning with that. But we obviously got Economos trailing Chris Smith. Leads to some morality, ethic conversation with himself in his head. I'm like, hey, is this cool? Like, I'm trailing my best bud, but he still has Adebayo, who is actually best buds with Peacemaker. So he's, kind of cueing her in on it as well. And I'm guessing that's going to lead to a conflict of interest with Argus down the line.
So okay, I gotta come back to you, because if we're saying that this Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Jr., and then we're saying the Suicide Squad is also canon to the DCU, or like, and then with that, then would the other Suicide Squad also be DCU canon?
I don't,
because that Rick Flag Jr. is in that movie with those same characters, or some of those same characters.
Well, yeah, and then you got Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad that goes back to Suicide Squad. So, I mean, if you play the trail,
I like kind of like blinked on that when they said that in the show, and now you brought it up. I was like, wait, we're talking about the same movie ending from the Suicide Squad, which, I mean, again, doesn't really touch any of the bigger stories. So like, you could literally make that story canon.
James Gunn too has been, and this is one area that I am semi-critical about what he's done with this, and at this point it almost doesn't matter because it's been a year or two now, but like when he initially took over, he was like, we're scrapping everything except for the stuff that I've done.
Well, no,
basically
did he also say Blue Beetle was also going to be canon?
Well, he said Blue Beetle, the character, was canon, not the movie itself.
Gotcha. Well,
which, whatever that means, I don't know what that means. But
he had to have the foresight that his shows and movie, like, he was going to take over.
Right.
Sometime, and
he
like
he probably pitched his like plan for the DCU to Warner Brothers and DC,
right?
And that's why they like gave him the job, honestly, because like you said, I mean, everything is already starting to connect. He probably had a plan already even before he got hired.
He's probably got like 40 of these movies and shows ready to go.
Just ready to go.
Yeah, I wrote this over a winter break or something. Vacation.
When I got fired from Marvel, I just started writing up a DC Storm.
I'm going to make the best DCU ever.
Oh my gosh, that would have been wild. That part I was like, man, like I guess I don't really like how you're picking and choosing. Like, you should just start a clean slate. But again, like at this point, it doesn't even matter because like I don't even care about any of the DCEU stuff anymore. Like that stuff's all in the past and gone. Henry Cavill, I still would have liked to see him as Superman, but now after watching Superman, I'm like, it's great. Like I don't have any qualms with it.
And I'm with you too, where it's like, I come back to what I already said in the episode. We're not getting a brooding Superman. We're getting the quirky, nice, vibrant Superman that has some human mental illness still, I guess, which is a little weird. But like, I like where he's more down to earth, and then we can have a more brooding Batman, and then that's more comic book accurate. Right. So
yeah. So at this point, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, James Gunn had the foresight that it wasn't going to matter in the future. So, but yeah, it is interesting. He never specifically said the Suicide Squad was going to be canon in the DCU. So this is like confirmation, basically, that the Suicide Squad is canon.
And that they show us another version of him killing Rick Flag Jr. But...
Well, and actually, you can go back to Creature Commandos. I mean, this is kind of spoilers for Creature Commandos too, but like he talks about his son dying in Creature Commandos. Rick Flag Sr. does. So, and maybe you can't take that as full confirmation. Like you could just say that that's the story, behind the scenes or whatever. But there you go. So, anyways, the Suicide Squad now canon in the DCU. Yeah, I mean, and then, we kind of talked about Argus already, but then we end the episode with him killing himself. And like you said, the last member of his family.
And not his actual himself, but suicide. Literally in the other dimension, that Peacemaker shows up. And then, of course, can't have a talk. Heaven forbid you talk about stuff. But with those guys, it's fully expected that they would just be
true. No, that fits his character 100%. Yeah. But yeah, that's they get in the fight,
and also like how much superior that his outfit was to his outfit would be, and also like probably a more formidable fighter too. So
I don't know. See, okay, here's the question though. Like I was just gonna bring that up. So they look like they're fairly even, and obviously our Peacemaker is caught a little bit unawares, and he doesn't have any of his gear. He's just
Sure,
like
yeah.
in sweats and a t-shirt, basically,
with no shoes. That was
with no shoes. Yeah. So he's a little bit, underprepared, but he's still able to best him. And I would say, like, I was wondering that too. So, like, he obviously has his gear. He looks good in the other multiverse or dimension, but because he's had his dad and his brother fighting at his side, he probably hasn't had to do quite as much combat / like overcome as much adversity as our Peacemaker. So maybe our Peacemaker actually is a better fighter.
Maybe, but I don't know if our Peacemaker would go fight in Bloodhaven alone.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. That's a good question. Man, he wants to be a superhero now, so maybe he will now.
Right.
Maybe he will do it in the other dimension too.
I would imagine we got to play into that in the next season of him just like really enjoying life, but somehow it's going to get effed up because that's kind of like his curse.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, this gets touched on a little bit in episode 2 as well, but he's got all of his friends in, his own dimension. And if he just vanishes to the new dimension, they're going to wonder what's up and like worry about him too. So he really is going to have to play two sides here and eventually come to a decision. So it's shaping up to be a good season. And I love how flippant James Gunn is about the whole quantum storage locker thing. Like, I love that random alien just comes out and is like, hey, like, yep, this is my dimension. I'm using this as a garbage
I feel
disposal too.
We
like,
didn't
what?
get that in the first season, where it just seemed like it was more of his stuff.
Right.
This one is more of, nope, other beings have this. Not everyone, but some do. So like yeah, you have your little space, and like you just don't go beyond that space.
It's so funny that it's just like, yeah, anybody could have this. Literally anybody. Like, you think this is a little bit bigger deal
right.
than it is, but they just treat it as a storage unit, which is hilarious. I absolutely love that. So yeah, that's another just James Gunn-ism. Good stuff. All right, Mark, moment of truth. What did you think of episode 1? What rating would you give it?
I'd probably give it a good 5.5 out of 6.
Solid. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, season 1, I probably gave the entire season like a 5.5. It was really good. I'm sitting right there with episode 1. It was a great kickoff for this season. That title song is gonna bug me though. It's just not quite as much of a banger. Like I said, it's growing on me, but we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. But yeah, 5.5 out of 6. I'm right with you. I don't see Peacemaker 2 as a show / character that I don't know if I'd be able to give a 6 out of 6 to anyways. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the season they'll change my mind.
Right.
Because it's a really, really well-made show, and James Gunn obviously has a banger of a story on his hands here. So we'll see how it goes.
Right.
All right. That's it. Let us know what you guys thought of Peacemaker episode 1. And you can hit us up on social media at Infinity Bros. You can email us at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com. And we'll put some links in the show notes to all the sweet codes that we have for 15% off your merch. So, all right, Mark, thanks for joining me tonight. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to review the next Peacemaker when I finish it.
This is probably, like I mentioned in the group chat, I was like, there's not a lot of content coming out for the rest of the year. That's content that we would typically review or have episodes on. So
there's some Disney Plus stuff coming out.
What are you looking forward to?
I mean, well, we got isn't the Wonder Man show coming out? And we have Marvel
Wonder
Zombies?
Man is in December. Yep, so that's a ways off. We do have Marvel Zombies coming up in October, so that'll be something we'll probably have to talk about. I think that's just a 4-episode like mini series, if I'm correct. I'll have to look into that, but yeah, I know that could. I mean, I'm excited about that. That looks like it's going to be sweet. But yeah, I mean, that's like, and then we got Gen V season 2 coming out next month.
I forget. I haven't watched Eyes of Wakanda yet. That's another one.
Oh yeah, Eyes of Wakanda. That was all right. It was pretty solid. We could definitely have an episode on that when people get around to it. And then in December, we got Stranger Things Season 5. So that will be big. December will be big. We got some big stuff coming up in December. But until then, might have some fun, like retro Infinity Bros episodes. Do some top 6. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. But until then, we love you 3000. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thank you so much for making us a part of your podcast experience. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at the Infinity Bros. You can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and sweet merch. Feel free to send listener feedback via social media or email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.